Roland Bishop has two guns on him. He has the one with the brown handle, which is the the piece de resistance, of the movie, pretty much. And then he has this other silver gun. Now, in the store, when he shoots, old man Quillis in the head, and they all kind of stand to the side when the cops drive by, you see one long stem gun. It looks like one of those stagecoach guns in Tupac's hand. And then there's the other silver gun that Raheem shows up with. Then when they run away from the cops, when Q says, "Look, man, we got to throw away the gun," Raheem walks up to Bishop and he says, "Yo, man, you got to give me the piece." Bishop is like, "Nah, man, I'm going to hold on to this until I say so." You distinctly see the brown handled gun in Tupac's pants sticking out, but then you see the silver one come out of his hand.
Check this out. I got it from Sweet. Oh, man, I ain't never shot nobody before. Be careful with that, man. It's low.
Loving every minute and second of it, and it's so funny how you pick up on things that you just never picked up on before, either because you just didn't have that eye as an artist, or as an adult, watching certain projects, and it was good revisiting it. Really good revisiting it. What did you just watch it, or are you just going off?
I watched it last night.
Okay.
And I hadn't seen it in a long time. So it was almost the same feeling I had when I first watched it. I think around the time, I guess I was in college and I had no money. So it's kind of one of those things where I don't think I saw in the movies. I saw it afterwards.
Yeah. Same.
And it was one of those things where you think I wasn't writing. I wasn't close to understanding how to finish a screenplay, but I had ideas on how things should go. And I didn't. It's one of those things where there's so much good and so much indifferent type of thing. It's like a lot of good, and there's a lot of like, oh, why did they do this? Or why didn't they try some of the jokes? Why don't they try to make these jokes a little stronger? Like the strongest joke for me, outside of Sam Jackson, is it named Faison, that actor, when he had the lockers, and he comes over and said, "It's been that long." Like that cracked me up so much, and I had it differently in my head. In my head, he almost comes like the way Tupac is, and does a joke of it, saying, "It's been that long," like that sort of thing. So
right. I was really let's talk about all the goods, man. The intro. I mean, just the way it starts off. Yeah. I mean, definitely, Rakim did his thing with the title track. You were already hyped. You were dropped in to New York City and hip hop in the 90s. You were just thrown into it. If you didn't understand what it was.
Now wait a sec. All right, before we get on, let's first say we are doing this is a spinner rack, or we might be something else. Who knows what this is? We're doing Juice. Hey everybody. We also have Petey, Sam, and we also have David Roberts, aka D Black.
Hey y'all.
So we're doing Juice. It's a favorite of both of ours. We're gonna get some heavy stuff in there too, but we're gonna do a lot of good. So back to what you're saying.
Back to the Juice. Yeah, man. So yeah. As I was saying, man, Rakim, he really did his thing with that intro. That title track. That definitely did its thing. Then we go into Big Daddy Kane. I think he starts off with I forgot the name of the song, and I just
No Respect Due.
No Respect, Enough Respect Due. How I forget that.
All right, so I'm gonna do a quick set. I'm cutting in to say that at this point, I think I still had hair, but it was going. But when I first got to college, I was really intent on becoming Big Daddy Kane. So I was like, I'm getting the fade. I'm fine because I
Right.
was always a low afro or an afro because your father it takes forever for them to get a cut. So then it wasn't that big, but it's
Mm,
So then it's like, all right, I'm getting my hair cut. I'm getting the fade, and I'm gonna because I was like in my father's shadow for years, and that's what I
right.
wanted to be. That's what I wanted to be. I was like, all right, I'm not doing that. Immediately thought of Bismarck until I saw Bismarck's album cover. I was like, I'm not going to become Bismarck, but I can become Kane. And so Kane in the Vapors video, I
Right.
was
Right.
locked in the Kane. I was just like, I went to college. In 2 seconds in college, like a lot of people running up to me and they were like, you look like Kid and Play. And I was like, like they like,
Missed by that much.
yeah. Then I'd say, I'm getting, I didn't know it was going to grow that big. I was trying to become Kane like in the Vapors video, right? It was before, I think before, at that point before, what's that thing? Raw was out, but I think the initial thing was seeing him in the Biz video. So it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm going to become. The next one was like, all right, I just got to accept this. At least I'm meeting people.
Right.
So,
Right.
but
Exactly.
I say all I can say is that that's when I think Kane was a little off his square, where
Mm-hmm.
the rhymes are up to par. It's
Right.
just I'm not sure it was clicking. Whereas there's stuff of Rakim's because the first album is amazing. Second thing, even though the what's the name, the Farolita isn't the best beat, but the
Mm-hmm.
flow on it is so insane. And there's
Right.
other classic of Rakim's, but this is one. This is when you get to that point when you expect so much from an artist.
Right.
Juice, his thing for Juice was just the No to Ledge was just crazy. So
That
this
was
hit
come
so
on.
hard. And I really wanted Enough Respect to hit as hard. It was an okay song, but it just one of those things where just a little off square and you expect so much because it's like Kane. So it's like it's
Right.
good, but then you expect it to be it's supposed to be like,
Right. Right. I mean,
something.
yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I love Neff Respect, dude. I think the song definitely did its thing more than the lyrics. I mean, the production, the beat did more than the actual lyrics of the song. But it just really like throws you into the film, like you were just hyped, because as soon as Juice is done, Know the Ledge, then you have, Enough Respect through it. And then now to see the possible verses of Rakim and Kane, that was just, all,
Yeah.
interesting how, how everything comes to the present now, full circle. I love the fashion, the fisherman hat,
Yeah.
the fisherman hat. Watching Steele with his lumberjack
Oh,
pullover.
now they really played him out. Like so, that's some of the choices where you just like at some point, and that's one of the things they could have got him on and started the jokes instead of just going for the. That's the thing, especially when you're at that stage, you're
Right.
not just doing the fat this, fat that. They were
Mm-hmm.
like, who let you something where they really got on his gear because his
Right.
gear was on
It's called
wreck. Like,
Price.
like everybody else is like, right in tune with what's going on. Like Tupac has that great jacket that he has on that it's like bulks him out even though it's not bulky. And that's
Right. Right.
the thing. And then obviously Q, then Raheem, you're like, that's it. The other part is for me, like I didn't connect with like Raheem as a character. I just connected with him as a real person, like
Okay.
someone where you could see, where you could understand. Oh yeah, he probably was, have a kid early. He's trying
Right.
to figure it out. He is the leader, but he doesn't really have a focus. He can get these guys to kind of get together. The Q thing, that's one of the things that's kind of tough with the story is like they're trying to do an ensemble, and then it becomes Q's story,
Right.
and then Raheem's the leader of the group, and then
Right.
it's Q's coming of age story, and then
Right.
it's
Right.
also it's also Bishop's story. So
Right.
it's so many. It's really interesting because it's in that time where film could be anything, and it wasn't following all the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's also his charm. But at the same time, I think they shot enough stuff where everything is set up. So even if I say you're losing focus by either doing like Stand By Me, where it's the four and everyone has a portion of a personality, right? Like they say that's like with a Chinese puzzle. Like when you're writing, you have so many characters, they all can't be well rounded. But
Right.
you have to also say, you know what, I'm gonna have this guy be the anger, the sensible, the
Right.
humor, and that
And
sort of thing.
that's what it started feeling like. I think I was watching a couple of interviews with one of the screenwriter, Gerard Brown, and it was just interesting getting his insight on some of the things. Looking at it, I'm definitely agreeing with you in regards to it being Q's coming of age story, but also Bishop's coming of age story. And the thing, the more that I look at the Bishop character, it like there's some really deep rooted psychological issues going on with him, and I don't know if everything was unpacked enough. I think that it was cool the way that he was introduced, but I think a lot of that was just Tupac's acting with that character. I mean, he has heavy insecurities. Obviously, he has I think when you have insecurities that big, it's not but a matter of time that you're a teenager. You insecurities, obviously, as all teenagers do. But then there's that that other story of what happened to your father, which I don't know. Was that made clear for you when you saw the movie years ago? It wasn't for me.
Not initially. When when you said we should do this, I did. I mean, can you go over that point, because that was your point. I don't want to bring that up.
So what started this really? The impetus of everything. I was watching, or rather, I was looking on Facebook, and I saw that someone had posted a meme about there possibly being a Juice, remake or redo or reboot or whatever. And and I was one of the few people that said, I wouldn't mind seeing one. The only thing is that if they did it, I would like to see it done, air quote right, because I think the last time around it was supposed to be this coming of age story, but I think that to me the way that the movie was marketed but as opposed to what the movie really showcased was a little bit two different things. The way that the movie was marketed was this, this urban crime drama of these four guys. One of them gets a gun and he kind of just loses it. So, but then when you see the movie and you kind of unpack what's really going on here, you look at the guy who has the gun, and it's something even more deep rooted with him, as opposed to just being a crime drama. The Roland Bishop character, he's psycho. He's off. He's not. When I look at a movie and I see coming of age, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be able to relate to all the characters or the main characters in the story. When you come around to the Roland Bishop character, there's something else there that's not of the average dude from around the way. Like he got problems. So one of the main other storylines is that his father was raped in jail. According to the dudes, Radamas, Repito Morte, the gang that knows about what happened to his father. But it's not really like punched, I guess, heavy enough for me. As a matter of fact, the girl that I was dating at the time, she was the one that kind of pointed out, no, David, he was raped in jail. And I'm like, oh, he was? Like, the line kind of just comes out, and it's just like, those are things that we said when we were younger. Like how many guys weren't like, dissing each other's parents, talking about, oh, your mom did this, or your father did this. So when he says that to him, I'm thinking it's just something that he said that really happened to his father. And if it did, then that needs to punch a little bit more, because even in some of the interviews that I saw with Ernest and with Gerard, that was a major through line for Bishop's character. And if it's that much the through line, then that really needs to hit. If that, even with the whole alternate ending thing, that's the main reason that Bishop makes the decision to let go. He You know, he's not letting go just because, you know, I want to be a badass. He's letting go because I know that deep down inside I'm a punk, like my dad is. So I'm not gonna go to jail because that's gonna happen to me. That's a big deal, as opposed to him, fighting for his life and then he just slips out. Like it just felt it felt so contrived. And from the interviews that I've seen with Ernest, as well as Gerard, as well as Khalil Kain. Khalil Kain did an interview about the alternative ending too, and he said something of the same, kind of the same ilk. Like they should have, kept that original. And I do wonder. Number one, I do wonder what would have happened for the audience receiving that original ending. And it's also a part of me that kind of wonders. And just this is a whole just alternative world thing. How would the Bishop character have turned out had he killed Q? I was wondering, or kind of hoping, would there ever be, if they do make a remake or a reboot, I would like to see a moment where the reality of all the mess that the Bishop character did actually hits it actually hits him. Like, I don't think he ever really has a moment where he's really taking in everything that he's done or is doing. I think he's so big that the delusion has him so much. The delusion of wanting to reinvent himself and this powerful guy and this dude that has all the juice and nobody can mess with him. Now that he has this gun, he's unstoppable. But I would really want, it would move me as a viewer, just to see, what would this character go through when there's at least that one moment when he says, "Oh shit, like what have I been doing?" Like in the movie Scarface, he sits down for that one moment after he shoots his best friend, and he's like, beautifully done by Al Pacino. And he's kind of like, sitting there and he's like screaming, he's scratching his chest, and he's like, "What the, damn man, like what did I do?" Like, and I don't, you never really get that from Bishop, and it kind of just plays more into the undertone of a psycho thriller, as opposed to a guy who's attached to these three best friends, and he's kind of just lost his way after he got this gun, and now he has this power and respect. It's something else, and he's just completely detached. And between us trying to keep up with what's going on with this kid, because that's another thing. They're all, pretty much kids in high school. And then, we're trying to keep up with Q as a kid. So, the other two friends are kind of just in the middle with their own little stories. And it was just really interesting. So I'm saying all that to say that it comes off as a crime drama, but I really think that it's a psycho thriller. And it'd be interesting to see if that were an angle that they were to come across with if they were to do a reboot or a remake.
That's one of the things. It's ultimately when you look at, especially what came post Spike Lee, because most filmmakers, and Spike Lee draws from a lot of filmmakers, but at the same time, you look at his early stuff. You look at like She's Gotta Have It. You look at School Days. These movies kind of move through genres.
Right.
Okay, here we have this romance thing, and then we have this harsh scene of the rough sex scene. It's just like, this didn't seem like this was going to be this. Then it's also people seeing the first thing of there's a lot, but then you look at School Days. You have a thing where he said it was a musical, but it really isn't. It's just one sort of musical scene, and the rest of the movie is just straight, like, not like a serious Animal House.
Right.
A musical.
I'm glad you said that, because I've been saying that the longest. But yeah.
Then the musical scene is just one scene, and it's like regular movies or dramas don't just have scenes where you just burst into song. That's the conceit of a musical. Now, because of the girls performing, and you do a music video, but we notice montage is the women performing on stage. It's not a musical scene, it's a performance. The party scene is another party. It's not a thing where people are breaking into song. It's one of the things where he's moving around, and you can see, and this happens in other movies, but you can see it a lot in obviously not in Boys and Men or Men's Society, because they would just use humor and
Right.
and gritty streets, and that'd
Right.
be back and forth drama, drama, humor, and that's what. But humor is the side part. It's not. It doesn't turn into a comedy, even though you
Right.
could look at it and say the comedy is enough drama to say this is comic relief. And I think
Right.
that's one thing. And I don't know if it changed in editing, but those things, the stuff the way they shot, where Bishop comes to him in school, and it's like that scene bugged me so much because it's like having a locker, the peripheral vision is everything.
No
There's
one.
no
No,
way a locker could keep it.
let's
I mean,
let's
it's
let's
cute
get this
though.
right
I
now.
gotta say, for film it works, but in my
Right.
mind, I was looking at it as like you
No
think
way.
that's yeah.
There's no way that someone is standing by your locker. You open the locker door, you close the locker door, and the person's standing there and you don't know they're there. There's no stick. It doesn't happen, people. Whenever you are standing by someone's locker and they happen to open the locker door, they know that you're there. So, even that shot, when you look at that shot, that's grade A 101, thriller, DP shot, right there. That, that's what they do to to spice up the
Yeah.
horror. So when you have a shot like that in a movie that's supposed to be that, coming of age, crime drama, it just adds a different type of edge to it. And it makes it makes the Bishop character a monster, technically speaking. It makes him a monster. He's no longer, a best friend, a former best friend of these guys. He's this alien with a gun in his hand.
Yeah.
Kind of searching for himself with all these other people around him. And now, having seen this movie, I didn't want to bring it up, but I got to do it. I'm just that meticulous guy. God, I wish you didn't make me this way, but you did. So, on the running time, 48 minutes and 21 seconds, and on the running time, 49 minutes and 37 seconds. There are distinctly, you said you saw it last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you picked this up. There are the Roland Bishop character distinctly has two guns on him. I don't know if you picked that up.
No.
Yeah, when you look at the movie again, look at the movie. I just finished watching the movie. Roland Bishop has two guns on him. He has the one with the brown handle, which is the piece de resistance, of the movie, pretty much. And then he has this other silver gun. Now, in the store, when he shoots, old man Quillis in the head, and they all kind of stand to the side when the cops drive by, you see one long stem gun. It looks like one of those stagecoach guns in Tupac's hand. And then there's the other silver gun that Raheem shows up with. Then when they run away from the cops, when Q says, "Look, man, we got to throw away the gun," Raheem walks up to Bishop and he says, "Yo, man, you got to give me the piece." Bishop is like, "Nah, man, I'm going to hold on to this until I say so." You distinctly see the brown-handled gun in Tupac's pants sticking out, but then you see the silver one come out of his hand. For me, I'm just meticulous Dave. I'm sorry. There's only one me. There's the way God made me, people. When you have a character that has changed who he is because of a gun, and the way that they've created this Bishop character, this is the first time he's seeing a gun. The way that they've created him. I mean, he has a little Tech 9 chain, but I don't think he's ever seen or held a gun before. That's the catalyst for this character completely. So for him to have two on him, it gives this impression that has he always had one, and now he has another one. Did he buy another gun after he got this one from Raheem? It just kind of kills things because they've played up this gun as being an additional character, if you will. The way he treats the gun, after he gets it, like he buries it between these two bricks, like he treats it like his. You don't see the Bishop character with a girlfriend, so this gun is my girlfriend. It's me and my girlfriend. Like it's his girlfriend in essence. So now to see him with 2 guns, it just kind of kills things, and it just kills me how you have these major $1 million budget movies with these mistakes, and it just and it kills me and it eats at me. But you know, it's just one of those little things that's like, well, if he has 2 guns on him, how impressionable is he about this gun?
Mm-hmm.
And what little changes are there going on with him? But the thing that I really wanted to get to.
Old man, what's the name's gun? Is that supposed to be once old man, what's the name's gun? The store owner.
Did he?
I don't think they established
recall.
Yeah,
because
hold on, don't go anywhere.
But I don't.
Hold on, let's go to the scene because it doesn't make any sense to me.
Let's share this.
I'm holding on to this till I say so. I'm not playing.
So you seeing this?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me make sure Mom in there.
Yeah,
all right, cool.
Robert.
So now he got one on his hip, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna
One.
Sorry. Let's go. He's got the gun on there, and he's pulling out another gun.
Okay.
What are you doing? So he got the gun. You see there, and then what the hell is going on here? The DP did not do their job today.
But no, maybe, I mean, like you said, maybe that's another gun he took from Mr. Keyless. I don't, let's go back to 48. Let's go back to the 48, 21 second mark. See that gun in his left hand?
What has he got 2 guns for?
That's what I'm like, wait a minute. And I don't recall there being a time where he, takes Mr. Keyless's gun. So I'm like, where's this long stagecoach gun come from, plus the silver one? I'm like, wait a minute.
That's crazy.
So not only does he have two guns, but they're 2 different guns in each scene. So I'm like, wait a minute. That one silver one, of course, is the same. But then there's the long stagecoach gun right there on the left. He's kind of holding it down. And then, when in their alleyway, there's another different type of gun. I'm like, well, what is he just shooting up people now?
Wow, that's crazy.
So it kills things for me looking at him as a character, because he, the Bishop character strikes me as that dude that he's really deep down in the core a punk. But when he gets that gun, now he can really flex. And he has the ability to have that power. He has the ability to have that respect. All because he has this gun in his hand now, and he can kind of just run people the way he wants to. And he wants to really reinvent himself, through and with this gun. But to have that additional one on him is like, well, where'd that come from? And and what does that do? What does that do?
I think it's one of those things. I feel like it's a plot point, something in the plot that they decided not to go with.
Right. That's what happened.
Because they talk about it, he said, "Give me the gun." He doesn't say, "Put down both of those guns."
Right.
It's like they just said, "Let's let it go and let's move on." Because it's in there too much. There's too many guns to be. It's a big deal. So
exactly.
that's crazy.